Welcome everyone to the Singer's Toolkit 2. This is session 3 and this marks the midpoint of our fun together. We have been learning over the last week about various aspects of music, the basics of sight reading rhythm, and doing some exercises in pitch development. Now let's have a look. Where are we in the course? Well, we are now at larger leaps, slightly more unexpected rhythms, and some varied dynamics. So as we're going, we're building things up so that by the time we get to Anything Goes and All Together Now, the last two, well, we can start looking at some really interesting real-world examples and start to look at strategies as to how we can use them. And thank you to those of you who are sending me examples and say, you might want to include this. That's a really, really nice thought. Just make sure you don't breach copyright when you send them. But if there are any particular examples that you've come across that you either had to work really hard on or that you have had some strategies in mind with, do please feel free to send them in and we will include as many as we can. Now, let's have a look at the plan for today. We'll have a very quick recap and we'll look at some dotted rhythms. We'll look at some syncopations in particular. We're going to look at Sight Sing and Unknown Peace. Again, small leaps, great strides, wider leaps as well, wider still and wider. So I'm going to disappear down here and here we are, round sound. There we go. Now, let's just quickly revise some of the things we've been looking at. The first part of today is looking at rhythm as always. So can I invite you to get your hands ready? We're going to do a bit of clapping. Okay, we're going to clap 4 beats. And don't worry about strong and weak for now. We're just going to clap after 4. And let me give you a pulse. It's such a good thing to do to practice with a metronome. So here's your pulse. And let's clap that in time. Ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Doesn't need to be loud or forceful. Accurate. Now the way to keep that in time and not get faster or slower is to feel the offbeats. So why not make up a little vocal rhythm with that pulse? Da 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 da. On your own. Fantastic. Well done. A little bit of just straightforward rhythm. Now, what I want to do is against that pulse is to dot the notes. Okay, so we're going to go by way of a recap from last time. So here we go. Are we ready? Here is your pulse again. And 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3, 4. And 1, 2, and 3, 4. Very nice. The trick is to keep filling those subdivisions. Da 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 da. Fantastic. And this works for vocals as, of course, any other instrument. That sense of pulse is vital to holding on for dear life when it comes to tricky rhythms, particularly as we look at tonight with syncopations and some slightly more interesting rhythm, shall we say. Now let's slow the pulse down and remind ourselves of some of those dotted rhythms we looked at last time, where we had dotted quavers and semiquavers. Okay, dotted 8th notes and 16th notes. Okay, so here's your pulse. Let's hear it. So that's the crotchet, that's the quarter note. So if we were clapping 8th notes, we're clapping quavers. That would be and da 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 da. So these are quavers, 8th notes. Now let's dot. So feel the subdivisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Okay. Let's proceed with the job of tonight, which is to start looking at stuff that's going to perhaps cause a little bit more, I suppose, consternation in the chorus. Whenever you throw something that's syncopated at a choir, there is going to be an element of, I think, just the gears in your brain will start to crunch. And actually, there are some seriously useful techniques which I use every time I conduct something, sing something, and I shall introduce them to you now. So let's start by looking at this slide again here on screen. Strong and weak beats in 4/4. Now, I spoke about this in Singer's Toolkit 1 when we were looking at conducting. If you remember, the pattern for conducting in 4 is down, across, out, and up. So it's down, in, out, up, down, in, out, up. And the reason it's that pattern, if you'll recall, is that the down beat, bang, is the strongest beat. It goes with gravity. In, across your body, whichever hand you're using, left or right, it goes in across your body. That's a weak beat. 3 is out, and that's a stronger beat, and up is weak. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clap or conduct, whichever you prefer, and let's get these strong beats where they need to be. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. Strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Now let's make things slightly more complicated by introducing the quavers, the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We still emphasize, we still clap, we still conduct in 4, but we're feeling those subdivisions as we were doing a moment ago. So with me, everyone, after 4, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and keep going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Fabulous. Okay, now, what happens if we take the strong beats out? If we take the 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just left with the ands. Now, this is where you need to start hearing the music in your head. And I'm not talking about, they're coming to take me away sort of stuff. You literally need to internalize the beat, internalize the pulse. And what you're going to do is you're going to give them the ands. And. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And let's say it out loud before we clap. Ready? 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and keep going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Lovely. Now, I'm going to ask you to clap on the ands. Let me give you a pulse. Let me turn this up. Let's get a nice, fairly moderate pulse. A bit faster than that. Okay, so on the ands, 1, 2, off we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and say that loud as well. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Keep going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and make it funky. And 4 and get your shoulders going. 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very nice indeed. Now, when I said get physical with it, get funky, get the shoulders moving, that's all about internalizing that pulse, internalizing that beat, so that you can almost not forget about it, but your body's doing that repetitive action. It's one of the things you do when you learn to play the drums, for example, sit at the drum set, is to build that muscle memory so that your hands will do what they need to do without you having to consciously move your hand on that particular drum with a particular stick. Okay, fabulous. Now, let's have a look. Let's go straight towards this, everyone. I'm going to make this slightly bigger because I've just seen it's a little bit on the small side. There we go. Flicker, flicker, flicker. Okay, so what we've got here is an example of what you might see in a piece of music in terms of a syncopated rhythm. And syncopation, S-Y-N-C-O-P-A-T-I-O-N, syncopation is a really important word when it comes to music. When I taught music in schools, particularly secondary schools, it was a term that came up in every single unit, whether it was Baroque music, whether it was African drumming, whether it was pop songs, whether it was folk music. Syncopation is how you move away from just a straightforward on the beat trudging along, and it's where you start to play off the beat. Okay, so let's have a look here. We've got 2 bars. One of them is syncopated and one of them is not. You can see very easily which one is on the beat. It's that second bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those down arrows showing the all-important beats. But if we look at the offbeat stuff, we can see it's kind of anticipating. It's going ahead of or behind the beat to give you that sort of da, 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 da feel. So let's have a go. First of all, let's just clap the pulse, clap the beat. I'm just going to adjust this ever so slightly so my metronome doesn't stop after 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. So let's clap the beat first of all, and then we're going to have a go at clapping the off beat. Are we ready? Here we go. So on the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's do that again, both bars. Now we're going to clap the off beat. Ready? So it is. Do it again. First bar. Da, 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 da. 1, 2. Now vocalize it. Ba, 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 ba. And again. Ba, 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 ba. Very good. Again, you've really got to involve your body in this. Okay, I said it before, I mean it. You are the singer and the instrument. If you don't play this with expression, if you don't put everything into this, if you don't physicalize it and move, even just a little bit, I do appreciate it. If you're in a concert setting, you don't want to be jiving around or you'll get a glare from the conductor. But some part of your body, it's really useful to have it moving in time with the pulse so that you can sing against it. Okay, so let's try it without clapping this time, with the pulse, and we're going to sing this rhythm. We're going to sing it to bar and just vocalize it. Here is your pulse after 4. 1, 2, off we go. Ba 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 ba. One more. Ba 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 ba. Lovely. So that's an example of a very straightforward example of a syncopated bar. What you might sometimes see, if you notice in the middle of this bar, you've got the quarter note, you've got the crotchet there. In most cases, as you'll see in a minute, rather than just have 3 crotchets in a row, what you'll find is there'll be 2 quavers tied together to show you the middle of the bar. And this is a convention that has come about in the last few decades to make it a little bit easier to sing at sight, although you have to be aware of it. And we'll see a real world example in just a minute. Before we do, let's have a look at a different kind of syncopation here. And this is using tied notes across bar lines to give you the feeling of syncopation. So we're not breaking things down into those 8th notes, into those quavers, but this is still syncopated, and you might see this in examples of older music, particularly Renaissance, and those of us who are singing at the moment with A Cappella Wonders 3 will be seeing this in our medieval music. So let's have a go at clapping this. Okay, I want you to clap the pulse, and I want you to say to bar, I want you to say the rhythm. So have a quick look at it, just a couple of moments. Okay, and just remember the curved line. If it's joining 2 notes of the same pitch, it's tied. If they're 2 notes of different pitches, they are slurred, which means you run them together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tied notes here. And that means you don't clap both of them. You just clap the first one, and you hold it for as long as the 2 notes tied together. So let's have a slightly faster pulse, everyone. Always get a slightly faster pulse when you put under pressure. So let's have a couple of bars of the pulse. Then we'll clap, and then we'll come in vocalizing after 4. So here's the pulse. Let's clap it. 1, 2, 3. One more bar of clapping, and then we'll vocalize. Off we go. Do it again. Let's vocalize together. Ba 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 ba, and again. Ba 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 ba. Well done. Now let's try it without clapping, but feel that pulse, and we're going to speed it up now, because although it's slow at the moment, if we have a pulse that is more like this, Are we ready? Vocalizing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 ba. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 ba. Now, believe it or not, I can't see or hear you, but I would wager that that third bar is throwing people. That tied note to the minim, to that half note, is throwing a few people. So always just slow it down, take it easy. There's some techniques which I'll talk about in a minute. Very simple, that will help, because sometimes you encounter stuff like this. This is a real world example, and this is already triggering a lot of people's earworms from Christmas. I had to. We're talking about syncopation. You've got to throw in some rutter, and in particular, this one. Here you have some absolutely huge syncopation, and it's the syncopation that gives you that it really wraps itself around your brain, this one. Okay, some of you will be singing this for the rest of the day, and that gives me such joy to know that's the case. Let's have a look at this first line, the sopranos. Yeah, it leaps off the first beat. And because Mr. Rutter is throwing this letters very deliberately, he's accenting the syncopated notes. And if we have a look at the alto, you've got syncopation in the first part of the bar, ba 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 ba, and on the beat at the end of the bar, that gives it that rhythm, that gets your shoulders going. That's a really good example of syncopation in the wild. And of course, the end of the verse, you've got on the beat, yeah, da 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 da, and then syncopation to really grab the attention, because actually what you'd expect is listen to the story of the Jesus child, or the Jesus child at the end, because it's Three Blind Mice, but he's syncopated it to make it that much catchier. And when you sing it, you've got to have that physicalization, you've got to have that pulse going. Okay, now you're all thoroughly triggered. Let's have a look at some more examples of syncopated rhythms before we have a look at the technique I wanted to talk about. Oh yes, I'm just having a little look at the comments, full of flame emojis. Oh, I'm sure you love the Jesus Child. You'll certainly be hearing plenty of it in December. Now, let's have a look at these rhythms. Okay, each bar has its own capsule to begin with. Okay, so have a look at the first bar, the one right at the top on the left. And if you had a straightforward pulse of in 4, if I asked you to clap after 4, what would that sound like? 1, 2, off you go. And again. Good. Well, that one shouldn't be too difficult because we just had it. Sing hallelujah, ba 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 ba. Short note, long going across the beat, that's syncopation, a short little pickup, and then on the beat. Let's have a look at bar 2. Okay, have a look at it. It's really quite straightforward when you start to notice the notes that are on the beat. Okay, but beats 1 and 2 here, we've got ba, ba, then we've got a quaver rest. That should give you a clue. Something's amiss, something's up. And then you've got a crotchet after that, followed by a quaver, so it is. Clap it for me, bar 2, 2, 3, 4. And again, one more time. So with me it goes ba 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 ba. I'm going to show my age. It's like that 90s anthem. No, 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 no. Always used to sing, there's no lyrics. Okay, bar 3. What a breadth of music we're getting tonight. So bar 3, have a go at this. After 4, here's your pulse. Let's save my poor aching fingers. And let's have a pulse here on the computer. Here we go. So bar 3, 1, 2, off you go. Okay, that's Old Man River. 1, 2, off you go. old man river, that old man river, da 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 da. Okay, starting, I hope to get a bit of a sense of it. Look out for the notes that are on the beat to give you that sense of stability. And if there are no notes on the beat, as we'll discover in a minute, there is a way around it, particularly if you're armed with a pencil. Okay, so now bar 4, let's have a look at that. And you've got a rest there. That is the squiggly rest, which is a full beat. Have a look, just have a look at it. Find out which notes are on the beat. Those are your anchor points. Have a look at which notes are syncopated. And here's your pulse. Here we go. 1, 2, off you go. Let's sing it together. Ready? Ba 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 ba, rest. 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 Fabulous. So let's slow it down. Let's go from the beginning and do the first 4 bars, one after the other. We'll slow the pulse down. If you make a mistake, it's not a problem. We're going to do this line 3 times in a row. And remember, you can always come back and do this exercise 10 times. And you'll just see what the difference is after 10 times through. Here we go. So slower pulse from the beginning. Off we go. And ba 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 ba. And again. Ba 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 ba. One more. Ba 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 ba. Great stuff. Now you might have noticed during the rests I didn't just stop. I actually sniffed in time. I moved in such a way to indicate that that rest was there. And that, if you learn nothing else from this course, I really do urge you, never assume the rests are just nothing. There is no such thing as nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum, most of all in music. If you assume there's nothing there, you will usually misinterpret it, miscount it, and either come in too early or too late. And if you get used to the physicalization of the rest, even if it's a silent, some kind of movement to feel that rest, it will help the rest of your music come into shape. I'm saying this to my orchestra all the time. They're working currently on Beethoven's 7th Symphony, which is quite a hard piece. And one of the things they're struggling with as an ensemble is playing the da 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 rhythm. And it's getting them to feel the rest is the really hard thing. Okay, there's lots more of that, but I want to move on to another real-world example. And here's another fabulous bit of rutter. And I used this as an example in Singer's Toolkit 1 because this is one of the bits that always throws choirs. It really does. I used to do this piece all the time. This is All Things Bright and Beautiful. And this is He gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But if you look at what's written on the page, it doesn't look easy. It sounds easy. Okay, I'll just play it for you. He gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell. It's just a little throwaway line, but the number of times I've had choirs going, He gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell, and they square it off. It's lips that we might tell. Say it with me. Lips that we might tell. One more time. Lips that we might tell. Now, how do you really make sense of that? Well, this is where, and this is such a simple technique. It has saved my bacon so many times. You see my conducting scores, they're covered with examples of this. Just right where the beats are. And if you don't want to write the numbers in, because it's giving the game away, just little vertical lines to indicate where the beats are. And that, because of course, one of the things you'll be fully aware of is that bars are not a uniform width. Okay, depending on how many notes there are, how many words there are, they could be tiny, they could be really long, could take up an entire system just on one bar if you've got lots and lots of information to fit in with it. So we're having to deal with something that's constantly changing width. So putting in the 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gives you so much more help as it goes. It's like a framework. And you can see here, lips that we might tell. Okay, so let's clap that rhythm and we'll say it. Okay, so it's after 3. 1, 2, 3, and lips that we might tell. Brilliant. And just one more thing. When you're singing something syncopation, going back to this very, very first slide we were looking at tonight, where it's talking about strong beats, the feeling of strength, the more you sing against that beat and with the power of syncopation, when you sing this, sing those syncopated beats. It's we and tell in particular are, well, that we might tell are all syncopated. So throw yourself into the syncopation with quite a lot of weight. I'm not going to say force, but throw yourself in as if you're dancing to it, and you will get that dance-like feel. Okay, it's if you ever watch Dancing with the Stars or Strictly Come Dancing or one of those shows, they're always saying, no, you're too stiff. You need to feel those syncopations. It's the same as singers. If you're stiff as a singer, it's really not going to sound fluid. It's not going to sound easy. It's going to sound robotic. So let's just say, and the lips that we might tell, with plenty of groove. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and the lips that we might tell, and again. And the lips that we might tell. Fabulous. Fabulous. Now, people are saying, there's some really, really useful comments here that I'm just glancing down at. Mike says, I need to look ahead. That's a really, really good piece of advice. And as singers, one of the things we're most guilty of, I think, is following exactly where the beat is. Okay, and something could be just one bar ahead and we have no idea until we get there. Okay, and it's so useful to be able to look even one note ahead. It takes practice, and there are apps that will help you with it. There's a really good sight reading app by the Associated Board of the Royal College of Music where it will scroll, and you will have to look ahead, because if you just stick to where the note is, you'll lose yourself. But yeah, just as a bit of practice, when there's a piece that you know well, that will be the first place to start. You've sung it a few times. Maybe it's Gloria in Excelsis Deo by Vivaldi, something like that. Try looking ahead. Try reading one note ahead. Or try reading 2 notes ahead, or maybe a bar ahead. It does require you trusting your brain to hold the music in there, but it's a really good tip. The other thing people are saying is tricky is when the notes are, as they are here, stacked up and you've got different rhythms going on. And that is, again, just practice. Keep going back to it. Keep going back to your score. I mean, something like this, it does require, and again, this is where those vertical lines, those indications of where the beats are, is going to be really helpful. Let's get to one more quick thing of this of rhythmic exercise. Now, if I asked you to clap this, even if I gave you a pulse, well, I think most people would just go, yeah, no, thank you. But if we did this, and we put the beats in, and suddenly you can see where these strong beats are, and this means even if you just clapped the pulse, you would be able to be part of the music. Okay, so what we're going to do, have a nice slow pulse, and we're going to sight read this, and there will be mistakes, and that's fine, because mistakes are how we learn and they're how we develop. But I'll invite you to come back to this point. It is very nearly 7:30 here in the UK. We're half an hour into the actual presentation from when we started, so come back to this point and do this clapping exercise and put yourself under pressure. Feel these beats and you will notice an improvement. So let's give it a go. Here's the pulse, nice and steady. So that's your strong pulse. So feel those da 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 da. Feel that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, physicalize that pulse somehow if it's conducting. Okay, or whether you're tapping on your leg. If you're tapping on the table like Mike, absolutely fine. And we're going to vocalize this together, and we're going to read it through and just have fun. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 5. Ba 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 ba. ba 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 1, 2 ba 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 bottom line ba 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 ba. Stop. Now, I'd be amazed if anyone got it all right, because that's a hard thing to do. Come back and give it a go. See how you get on with that after 10 repetitions of it. By all means, practice in between. That's a really useful set of rhythms for you to do as part of your warm-up. If you did that every morning and just clapped that through, spoke it through, you would find yourself much more confident and much more competent when it comes to singing syncopations. And don't expect to get it right first time. Don't expect to get it right 10 times in. Keep doing it. You will notice an improvement. And remember, excuse me, getting quite animated here. Remember, get your ducks in a row. Get those beats marked in. All right, everyone. Well done. Take a deep breath and let's jump around like the little dog. It's pretty good now, isn't he? I should do a film score for this. It's brilliant. We're on to the pitch part of our presentation tonight. Do please have a sip of drink. And let's remind ourselves. People are saying, I need to do it to a slower beat. That's absolutely fine. But when it comes time to do the exercise, Jill, and I do concede what you're saying, do it at speed. Okay, put yourself under pressure. If you stick to the comfortable tempo where you can do it really slowly, and bear in mind it's fine to practice that on your own, but practice it at that tempo as well. Okay, because chances are when you come across syncopation in a piece of music, it will be fast. And if your brain's used to doing everything slow, you won't keep up. In fact, if possible, when you watch this back, consider using that YouTube cog to speed that up, that bit we just did, and see what happens. If you get it all wrong, fine, but keep going at it. That would be my advice. All right? You can take it or leave it. Now then, we are in the realm of pitch. We were looking last time at this diatonic scale. The tone, 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 semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And we've been starting to look at intervals. I'm going to get out of the way here. That's a bit better. And as requested, we've started to now introduce the bass clef as well. Thank you, Jill. Bless you. Good luck. Alison says, I want to see the next shot of that little dog. I'm sure he misses. No, he just goes round and round and round forever, Alison. So we've introduced the bass clef here. And I'm going to invite those of you that don't normally read the bass clef to have a little look at it. Okay? And one way to think of this, for those of you who are used to reading treble clef, if you think of the C, have a look at the treble clef and just follow it along and look at where C is, the octave above middle C. That C there. Look at where it resides. It resides in the third space up, F-A-C-E. Okay, F-A-C-E. Resides in that third space. If you were to imagine then that everything's dropped down a third and then start again, well, that is the bass clef. Okay, it's all these staves are is just hanging intervals on a frame to give you a sense of where the pitches are moving. That's all it is. So do consider having a look at the bass clef as well. Now, last time we met, we were talking about particular intervals. So we spoke about the minor second, which is, for example, here, C to C sharp. We spoke about the major second, which is up a whole tone. So we count up 1, 2 for that. We were looking in particular at the minor third, which is 1, 2, 3 semitones away. So if we take C here and we count up starting on the C and we count up then 1, 2, 3, we get the minor third. Back to the C, we count up 4. Starting on C, we then go 1, 2, 3, 4. We get the major third. Now we're starting to move even further, wider still and wider, as they say, starting on C, and we now count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. So from 1 to 6 here on screen, there's actually only 5 semitones away. That gives you a a perfect fourth. In fact, let's make things a little bit less confusing here. Just bear with me a moment. So just a little bit of clicking around. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And I'm just going to just duplicate that and get rid of the numbers here. Bear with me a moment, everyone. Let's say doing everything under pressure. That's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Okay. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Ta-da! Good, I think. Just want to get rid of the numbers because I don't want to confuse people unnecessarily, unless I want to confuse you. There we go. Okay, it's a little bit better. So starting there on the C, 2 up is the, as I say, the major second. Then we've got the minor third, major third. Now the fourth is 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've then got the augmented fourth, or the diminished fifth, depending on which way you look at it. It's otherwise known as the tritone. And then we've got the fifth, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 semitones away. Or, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. Okay, now a couple of things before we launch into this next bit of teaching. Counting semitones is, I think, only really useful if you're faced with a note and you're asked to kind of work it out. But the further you get away from it, really, the trickier it is to count semitones. It's much easier to think of these intervals, these spaces between notes, in terms of tunes that you already know. Because, I mean, we all know these intervals intimately. We sing them all the time. This one. I mean, think, how many tunes do you know that start with that? Yeah? Or even if we go down, that fourth. Think about your Mozart. Okay, I always talk about Eine kleine Nachtmusik at this point. Here is another example of the perfect fourth. So that first interval from C to the F. Can everyone just sing A-me and A-me? Very nice. Now can we sing Mozart Eine kleine Nachtmusik to ba, ba, ba with me and ba, 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 ba. Fabulous. So if I give you a pitch now, hear the rhythm, hear the key, sing Mozart Eine kleine and ba, 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 ba. So what you just sang there was a fourth back up, a major third, and a minor third. Let's go to another pitch. Let's try there. Here's your key chord. Sing Mozart on your own and. Very nice. Let's go a little higher. There's your key chord and ba 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 ba. Let's go even higher and ba 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 ba. Super stuff. So one useful exercise is literally to just give yourself a pitch, that one, and sing Eine kleine ba 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 ba, and just be really aware that you're going down a fourth ba ba ba. Now, here's another trick. Now, I'm going to ask you to make that the second note of Eine kleine. There's your key. Okay, that's not the first note. I don't want ba, ba, ba. I want that to be the... So hear the first note in your head and sing ba, 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 ba. Okay, that helps you get that fourth as well. Here's another example. As we discussed, Christmas carols are really good for this. Oh, come, all ye faithful. Ba, 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 ba. Now that gives you not just the fourth, but also the fifth. And one thing I want to point out at this point is that the fourth and the fifth are very closely related. Okay? If we start here on a G and we drop down a fourth, well, we get a D. Ba, 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 ba. If we go up to the D, we get a fifth. And And the two intervals are very much related. Okay, fabulous. And they also have a very sort of bright sound. They sound slightly medieval if you move around with them. Okay, and because of that, you can't have a major fourth or a major fifth. They're called perfect fourths and perfect fifths, and they ring. There was a real presence to a fifth. Ba, 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 ba. It's like Mastermind here in the UK. Let's sing that like trumpets. Make a trumpet sound and ba, 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 ba. And again ba, 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 ba. Starting there ba, 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 ba. And there ba, 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 ba. Now there ba, 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 ba. And again ba, 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 ba. One more ba, 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 ba. Nice and bright, nice and trumpet-like. We'll come back to that one in a minute. Now, halfway between the fourth and the fifth lies an area of darkness, an area of devilish intensity. Because there's our fourth, there's our fifth. If we go in between the two, though, if we split the difference, we get this. Diabolus in musica. Now, this interval is really, really interesting for all sorts of reasons. Okay, let me show you our scale again. Now, I understand I've cut off the top of my treble clef, so let me bring that back. No, I don't want the numbers, England. I just want... There we go. Lovely stuff. Okay, so if we count the notes, starting at C and stopping just before them, because that's another C. We don't want another C. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 semitones in the scale before you get back to C and you start again. Okay, now if we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the middle there, okay, and we include the C, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Halfway up, we get F sharp. And then we count again, starting on F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we get C. And we're used to that sound now, but in the olden days, you play that particular interval, it could get you in a bit of trouble, actually. It was known as the devil's interval, diabolus in musica, the tritone. And it's because it is as far away musically from where you started that you can go before you start coming back the other way. And it works on any note. If we start on E, for example, if you find E, it's the start of the second bar here, and we count up 6. Starting on the first note, we then count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get B flat. And it has that uneasy, sort of unfinished sense, doesn't it? If I play you a chord on E major, and I play B major, E again, I mean, it sounds like science fiction. It sounds like an alien world. Yeah, really does. And this is very deliberate. Composers do this to give you this sense of otherworldliness. Now, one way to spot these things, well, first of all, we sing them all over the place, often on our way to somewhere else. Maria, I've just met a girl named Maria. Or, if you are a millennial, you get this. The Simpsons. And the thing is, The Simpsons is made of tritones, because it's supposed to sound zany and wacky and not quite real. Now, how do you help yourself be able to sing tritones? Well, I've got a little exercise for you here. This is all in the treble clef, but it works very well in both. What we're going to do, we're going to sing this together. Top line goes like this. Ma 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 ma. So we start by singing on a C. We go down, we go up to the F, and then C down to the B, F, then we jump, and then tritone, 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 tritone. Let's sing it together, starting on C, and you can come back to this and sing it whenever you like. 2, 3, 4. Ma 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 ma, and again. Ma 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 ma. Lovely. Let's try it on a different pitch. As far as you're concerned, it's still the same. We're singing the same shapes, but we're moving it to a different pitch. 2, 3, 4. Ma 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 ma, and again. Ma 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 ma. Very nice. We can also do a version where we go down a tritone, starting here. Listen to it. Looks complicated, but let's look at it. First bar, just down the scale and back up again. Ma 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 ma. Second bar, ma 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 ma. Sing the second bar for me, and ma 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 ma. Now the tritones, ma 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 ma, and the last bar, ma 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 ma. Let's do the whole thing slowly. 2. Off we go. Ma 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 ma. Fabulous. So practice that at different pitches within your voice, and the key part is always this or. To get used to singing that interval. That's how you end up like this little chap here. Sing it with him. Ma, 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 ma. Let's start there. Ma, 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 ma. And again. Ma, 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 ma. There we are. Okay, who knew that little dog would turn into such a celebrity? So that is the tritone, everybody. A really useful interval. We come across them a lot. I'll just skip that exercise. You can have a look at that yourselves. Now, fifths. We've already been looking at those tonight. Here's another really good example of fifths. So, ba 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 ba. Sing those notes for me. So let's go there for those of you with the alto and bass persuasion. To ma, and ma 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 ma, and again, and ma 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 ma. Very nice. Now let's start here and sing the fifth, and ma 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 ma. Fabulous. Now I'm going to play you the first 2 notes, and you're going to sing the fifth on your own. Twinkle twinkle, and ma ma, and again, well done. Ma ma. Very good. It should be ma 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 ma. Let's try here. Sing twinkle twinkle for me, and I'll just play the first note, and you're going to sing the second, third, and fourth. By the way, sing twinkle twinkle, and very good. And again. Very nice. So now with me, twinkle, twinkle. Super. Let's try here. This time, I'm going to ask you to sing it. There's your starting note. Sing twinkle, twinkle, 3, 4. Very nice. Make sure it's all the way there, nice and bright. Again, 2, 3, 4. You've just sung a fifth. Twinkle, twinkle. Very nice indeed. Now I'm going to give you just a note. I'm not going to give you the chord. Think about it. Twinkle, twinkle. 2, 3, 4. So it should have been twinkle, twinkle. Very nice indeed. Now, a challenge. Not everyone will get this. If there's a fifth, where is the tritone? If that's, where is the tritone starting there? So, sing The Simpsons. Ready? And 1, the. And again, The Simpsons. Now here, all we want is actually, let's sing Maria. I'm feeling in much more of a West Side Story mood. So there is our key chord. There's our note. Sing Maria from West Side Story. And Mar. That gives you the tritone and the fifth. With me, Maria. Very nice. Get us. I love it. Now, there's another example. You want to go down the fifth? We've got Flintstones. Okay, so it's saying Flintstones, everyone. And Flintstones. Very nice. Again. And Flintstones. And again. Flintstones. And Flintstones. And Flintstones. And Flintstones. There. Flintstones. Let me give you a note. Sing it on your own. And very good. Those are all fifths. How do we practice fifths? Well, another quick little exercise. This one is easier than the tritone one. Up and down the scale. And then broken chords. Let's do it slowly. To ma. 2, 3, 4. Ma 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 ma. Very nice. Let's go down the scale now. So it'll be I'm going to play. I'm not going to play what's on the screen. I'm going to make it much more easy. So imagine there's an E flat in there as well. We'll just make it a nice major. So ma 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 ma. Flintstones, 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 Flintstones. Okay, fabulous, everyone. Have a quick sip of drink. Have a quick sip. Now then, it's quiz time. And I really do not expect people to type the answers. In fact, do me a favour. Don't, if you're here live, don't type the answers into the chat. I'm going to play you some intervals, and I'm going to ask you to do your best to identify them. Now, please use this. Come back to it. I'm going to give you the printed score I've got here. I've created a score that you can use to test yourself, and this is not something I expect people to get straight away. This is not something that I expect you to get after even 10 repetitions. But if you keep practicing stuff like this, there are apps that will help you with it. It will really, really help. It's like sharpening a pencil, and you will end up with a really very, very well prepared ear so that you will hear these intervals. And I do have to warn you, everyone, once you start doing this, you will start to hear intervals everywhere. You'll hear I walk into there's a newsagent near me, and the bell goes when you walk in, and I just say to her every time, 4th, and she goes, I know, but you'll start to hear these, so apologies in advance. Here, everyone, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play you the key note, the first note, and then I'm gonna play the second note, and then I'm gonna play them together, and then I'm going to ask you to identify the interval. And this is the kind of thing that students of music have had to endure for generations. And, it helped me. So hopefully it'll help you. Here is your key note. Okay, hear that again. Here is the second pitch. I'll play the first note again. Here is the second note. Both together. What is that interval? If in doubt, I'll happily take the number. You can also give me the description of it as well. That's the first one. Hum it by all means. Make a note of it. I'll give you the answers in a little bit. Here is the second example. There's your key note. Here it is again. And here is the second note. Here's the first note, second note, and together. Okay, number 3. There's your key note. Here it is again. Here's your second note. Here's the first note. Second note. And together. Number 4. There's your first note. And again. And here's your second note. Here's the first note. Second note. Both together. If you want to give me major, minor on each of these intervals, that's fine. I will also accept just the interval as a, fourth, fifth, second, whatever you want to make it. Now, number 5, we're doing very well. Here's your key note. Here it is again. And here is your second note. First note. Both together. Here is number 6. There's your key note. Hum it for me. Now the second one. First one again. Second one. And both together. What is that interval, everyone? 4 more to go. And remember, this is designed to be stressful. Honestly. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. I promise you. All right, here's the first note. Second note. First note. Second note. Both together. Does that sound like a song you recognize? Okay, number 8. Here is the key note again. Here's your second note. First note again. Second note. And then both together. And then number 9. There's your first note. There's your second. First note again. Second. Both together. What's the interval? And finally, there's your key note. And again. Second note. First note. Second note. Together. Okay. Now, if this is the first time you've ever had any kind of quiz like this, well done for still being here. There are people saying, sound of running feet, slamming door, dust trails. Completely understand. But do remember, the more you know about this, the easier you will find actually reading music. That is, after all, why you're here. So let's quickly give you the answers. The first one. That is a major second. It is 1, 2 semitones away. It's next door. Think chopsticks. That's right next door to each other. It's not quite on top of each other. That would be that. It would sound really harsh. A major second is just next door neighbours. The second one was a minor third. So that is 1, 2, 3 up. And you can hear that in the context of a chord. There is your minor third. The third one is a perfect fourth. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is Sounds like a trumpet call. That is your perfect fourth. Number 4 was a minor second. Right next door to each other. That one is hopefully one of the ones that will really stand out to you. You hear that kind of clash. Sounds like the cat's walking on the keyboard. That's a minor second. That's right next door to each other. Remember, this is the first time you've ever done it. I wouldn't expect anyone to get any of these right, but come back and do it again. Perfect fifth was number 5. Obviously, it was going to be a perfect fifth. Number 5. Okay, twinkle, twinkle. Fabulous. Number 6 was this. Ba, 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 ba. That is the 4th again. Number 7. That is the augmented 4th or diminished 5th. That's the tritone. The Simpsons. Number 8 was another perfect 5th. Flintstones. That's the 5th. Number 9 is a minor 3rd. Ding dong. And the last one was a minor 2nd. For that clash. Now, as I say, that is advanced stuff. If it's your first time doing it and you didn't get any right, it's no worry, no problem. Everyone finds this difficult to begin with, but come back, give it another go. Go towards the stuff that you find difficult, and you will find actually it's not as difficult as you think. I think the key is to find those intervals that are completely obvious. We'll be looking shortly at things like sixths and octaves. Octaves are nice intervals to find. Minor seconds are also quite easy to spot. Tritones become easy to spot the more you do them. And then the others will sort of come into focus, a bit like using a magnifying glass. But if you've never used your ears like this before, it is tricky. Now, to finish with everyone, I want us to look at a nice tune and just talk about the intervals and the shapes. If we had to sing this, it's a tune in the, oh, people, 6 out of 10. Oh, well, 7, 5. Good, good, good. It's not about that, but those of you that did well, congratulations. Stickers all round. Okay, whether you got 0 or 10, I'm proud of all of you. Now, this is a tune from a little piece called A Mass of Life by Frederick Delius. And just want to point out a few of the intervals before we listen to an amazing performance recorded just a few days ago. We have a key signature, and I've actually cut the key signature off here, which is rather annoying. But we have a key signature of 5 sharps, and that means we are in the key of B major. So we got a rising second, dropping a 6th, and then up a 5th. O Mensch, gib Acht. Then we got this interval. Got lots of tones. We've got a minor 3rd, and then lots of major seconds. Then from the B to the F on Ich schlief on the second line, that's a 5th. Ich schlief, ich schlief. Now we've got the 4th. We then drop down a semitone. Aus tiefen Traum bin ich. There's that 4th. Erwacht. Now I'm going to play this lovely recording. Those of you on the Massive Life course, for everyone will be invited to sing along with this, because this is Roderick Williams singing with the amazing Bergen Philharmonic. And just follow this tune. I'm going to call out some intervals from time to time, and I'm afraid it is going to somewhat tread on Roddy's toes. So if you haven't heard it, go and have a listen to the stream. But this is this gorgeous midnight tune. So we've got a 5th, down a 2nd, up a 5th, and he sings. That's a 5th. He now climbs a 5th and then a 4th. Now the 4th. 4th. And 1. Down the 4th. Now from here up a 5th to und. Down the 4th. fourth. Okay, now the reason I'm showing you all this is that when you sit and look at your scores, start looking out for these intervals, start looking out for these shapes, because this is how you go from finding a way and listening and following other people to being like our friend here, jumping around and finding your feet and finding these intervals. And when you see them on a score, it won't be a mystery to you. You'll actually be able to leap around like this chirpy little fellow here, who is and knows where the pitches are because he can see them and judge them. All right. Now, if you have found this evening's session tricky, I'm going to go back to my my slide here. As I say, you are not alone, but do persevere. The more you learn, the more you have these, what my one of the great teacher trainers I work with used to call eureka moments, that sort of, aha, I've got it. You get those the more you do it. When you next come across a piece of music, whether it is something for Choir of the Earth or for one of your face-to-face choirs, have a look. See if you can start to spot the shapes, spot the intervals, start to use your ears in a new way. Don't just accept the tune as a whole load of sounds. Start listening out for things that sound familiar, even if it's starting with those next door neighbours. But listen out for fifths, for fourths. Start singing them. Introduce these ideas into your lives and you will find you are able to use them more and more. Don't expect to get it overnight, but the more you do it, the better it gets. As I say, those of you who found this hard tonight, come back, watch it again, introduce this into your lives. You will not regret it. But everyone, look forward to seeing you for our next session. We'll be introducing the ideas of further syncopation. We'll be looking at more tied notes and things like introducing that into compound time. There will be more rutter, just to warn you. And we'll be introducing the ideas of the different sixths and starting to look towards the fifth session where we'll be introducing even wider intervals and starting to read more and more. But in the meantime, everyone, see you next time. Take care, folks. All the best. Bye-bye.